Hi, this is Nathan from Snap, and today we're going to be looking at how to move your existing Snap 11 surveys across to Snap XMP. We're going to be looking at four main scenarios, the first being that you have an old survey which is no longer active. Next, that you have an active paper survey but it doesn't have any kind of online element to it. We'll then look at an active online survey which may or may not have a paper edition. And then finally we have an online survey, again maybe with a paper edition, but this time the survey has a database of participants attached to it. Now, one of the main differences between Snap Desktop and Snap 11 is that we now have the idea of offline surveys and online surveys. So one of the first things that we're going to be doing is creating some online folders, and then that will allow us to transfer those offline surveys to the new online system. So let's take you into the software. So the first thing to point out is that we have our offline surveys and our online surveys, and the offline surveys are the existing Snap 11 surveys. So today you can see I'm pointing off to a folder called Snap 11 Projects. Obviously I could browse off anywhere on my computer if I wanted to, and all the surveys within this folder say that they need upgrading, and they're all Snap 11 ones today. Obviously you may well have some even older ones relating back to perhaps Snap 10 or Snap 9, but the updating process is exactly the same. So the first scenario is that we've got an old survey which is no longer in use, so sort of an inactive survey. So in my case today I have my SN Tourism survey which dates back to 2012. So it has data in there, but it's not a survey which I'm using and probably won't ever need to touch again. So first thing I'm going to do is just to archive that survey, including the data. It's going to go back into my Snap 11 Projects folder. Now that I've made an archive of that survey, I'm simply then going to delete it. The likelihood is that we will never ever need to touch that survey again, and on the off chance that someone does suddenly request information about it, we can always go back in and restore it. If you've got an active survey which has only a paper edition, so in my case I have my University of Cinderford survey, so I have no requirement for that paper data to end up on Snap Online. So in this case we're going to make a quick archive of the survey, just to make a backup of that, and then we're simply going to double click on the survey and this will update it. That's taken us into the questionnaire design of the survey, but we're not making any changes, so I'm going to close that survey straight down. But it is now ready to continue using as per normal. The third scenario is that we've got an active web-based survey, which again may or may not have a paper edition to it. So in my case today, I have my Tourism Survey 2020. So the first thing to consider is if you are going to be moving across a live survey from Snap Web Host to Snap Online, that the links will be changing for your survey. So in an ideal world you don't really want to be doing this when the survey is still live. So ideally you'd wait till there's a natural break in interviewing before upgrading these surveys. Obviously it's not always going to be possible to do that, so what you do need to do is try and find a time when there's going to be fewer people trying to access that survey. So the first step would be to move into Snap Web Host and to pause or close that survey, and then download all that data into Snap 11. During that time you just need to bear in mind anyone that tries to access your survey will not be able to. So obviously you don't want to leave your survey paused or closed for too long, which is why I said try and choose a time when it's less likely to be active. So let's assume that we've already done that. Again, first thing I'm going to do is to quickly archive the survey just to make a copy of it or backup. And then before I turn this into a Snap Online project, I'm going to move into my online surveys folder, and I'm just going to create a folder. So under your work I'm just going to create a new folder, just give that a name of existing Snap 11 surveys. And that will just make the process of updating from Snap 11 to Snap XMP that little bit easier. And then to move the survey into an online survey, we're just simply going to clone it. So it's going to be cloned as an online survey, including the existing data. And we're going to pop that into the folder I just created. And you can see, if you look really carefully, it's very quickly assigning that to my username for Snap Online, and it's updating all the data. So that simple step of cloning it from an offline survey to an online survey has made that available both in Snap Desktop and in Snap Online. So any changes I make in Desktop or in Snap Online, they will synchronize between the two systems. Now, in the interest of keeping things nice and tidy, now that I have cloned that survey, I can go back to my offline mode, and then I can delete that survey. Again, we've already got a clone of it in the offline survey mode, and I made an archive of it earlier anyway. Obviously, the next step would be to log into Snap Online and actually start the survey, but also to make sure that anywhere that I'm displaying the existing link, the web host link, is replaced with the new Snap Online URL. The final scenario we're going to be looking at today is that, again, we have an online survey, potentially with a paper survey as well, but the difference being this time we have a list of participants attached, so a database link. The issue here is that you've potentially already sent out a mailing to your customers with a link to the existing survey. If this is the case, then you're very much advised to let the survey continue running in webhost and wait till there's a natural pause before updating that to Snap Online. So we're going to take a situation where either my survey hasn't gone live yet, or I have stopped my survey, everyone who's already received the invitation has completed it, and we're now ready to do phase 2 of any invitations. So as always, I will make a quick archive of that survey, including the existing data. I'm then going to clone that as an online survey, including the data. And I'll pop that back in the existing Snap 11 surveys folder again. Now you have two options with regards to the database link of participants. When you clone a survey, it clones everything across to Snap Online with the exception of the database link. So to send the database link of participants up to Snap Online, we just simply need to run it. So if I go into the survey, up to my database link, and we can simply press the run button. Now, because this database link doesn't exist in Snap Online, we have a couple of choices to make. So in today's example, it actually doesn't matter which of these options we choose, it's going to be sending my new list of participants up to Snap Online. This database link has invitations and reminders built into it. Again, I want to make sure that those invitations and reminders get sent up to Snap Online as well. So I'll click OK. You will of course need to check that any information in that database link, such as the survey URL, is correct, and that you're not about to send out an invitation to lots of people that have actually already completed the survey. So basically, if someone's already completed that survey, they shouldn't be contained in this database link. Once in Snap Online, do make sure you check through the options available within participants, because they do differ a little bit to what you will be used to from Snap Web Host. The alternative to running the database in desktop is just to start again and build your participant list directly in Snap Online. Obviously, this does mean you are going to be redoing some of the things that you've previously set up, but it does mean that there's no danger of you accidentally sending out an old link. Plus, it allows you to make use of some of the new functionality within Snap Online. Okay, so hopefully you're now all set up to start using Snap XMP. So just to recap, if you have a closed survey, regardless of whether that's a web-based survey or just a paper-based survey, you can simply upgrade the survey and then you're ready to do your analysis. If you have a live web-based survey, ideally let it run its course in webhost and then upgrade it once it's closed, ready for your analysis. If you can't do that, find a suitable time to pause it before upgrading it and then restarting it in Snap Online. But you do need to be very careful that you do update any old links that you might have in any literature. And as always, we would advise making an archive of your survey before you go about making any updates. There are lots of other videos, interactive tutorials, worksheets and other resources that you can find on our website.